Alright, what's up everyone? So I get a lot of questions on the On3 turbo kit for the 4.6 2-valve engines, and I wanted to pull my kit out and give you guys a rundown of what I think about the kit and how it's held up over the past 2 years that I've had it on the car. So first off, I mainly want to talk about the hot side of the turbo kit because most people don't talk about having any problems with the cold side of the turbo kit. It's more about, do the V-bands seal up, how's the hot side fitment, and how well are the V-band clamps, and so on and so forth. So I'll start off there. So I've had this kit on the car for almost 2 years now. As everyone knows, I race this car, so I've put this turbo kit through a lot of abuse, a lot of heating up and cooling down, and as you can see from the weird discoloration that's on the piping here, I actually had the hot side of the turbo kit wrapped with heat wrap as well, which also puts more stress on the metal. I unwrapped it so I could inspect it, so I can inspect the welds, because after 2 years of abuse, you want to, with all that heating up and cooling down, it does fatigue the metal and it fatigues the welds, so you want to inspect things like that whenever you have a chance. So starting off, we have the headers. The headers are a mild steel, and I will say that these headers are made out of a pretty thick, heavy gauge steel. I mean, these things aren't light. They're heavy. They feel like there's something to them. I need to actually respray these with some more high temp paint. I like to put high temp paint on these. I do not wrap the headers, just to keep that stress off of these things. But they're a mild steel. The welds are really good. I'll try and see if I can get the phone to focus on some of the welds. These little Chinese kids are getting pretty good at welding, I will say. So this is the passenger side header. The flanges seem to be good and flat. They seal up to the block with a gasket. I use a little bit of copper RTV just to verify that there is a seal and make sure that everything's going to seal up good. Move over to the driver's side header. I ran out of paint. I was repainting this guy and I ran out, so I'm going to respray it. There's a little bit of rust, which is to be expected whenever you're putting something through so many heat cycles and moisture and everything else. But and this kit has almost 2 years of use on it. So this side seals up good. The flanges seem to be flat and seem to seal up good. I do use a gasket on them. No issues, no cracks in the welds, anything to speak of on that one, or any of the hot side at all. So moving on to the piping, I did paint the piping. Whenever you get these kits, they do come with the hot side piping is a stainless steel, so they're nice and shiny. I decided to put some high temp paint on them, and this flex joint right here is still good, in good shape, as well as all the welds on all of the piping. I have not had a single issue out of the V-bands at all. That's the main issue that people always ask about, is how well do the V-bands seal. The V-bands on this kit are nice and thick, as you can see, and they seem to be nice and flat so that they can seal up well. I have not had a single issue out of it, and after working with this kit and helping others, I think that some of the issues that people run into with these kits are misdiagnosed V-band issues. Because the thing with the V-band is you have to line that V-band up and then get your clamp tight. If you don't, the V-band is going to leak. I don't care if you have the best built turbo kit in the world. If you do not line the V-band up correctly, it is going to leak. The one thing I will say about the V-bands that come with this On3 kit, and this is the Gen 2 forward-facing kit, is that the V-band flanges are pretty thick. So the only V-band clamps that I could get to work with them were the ones that came from On3, which have a little bit more space here in the clamping area. I bought a set of Vibrant clamps and they weren't thick enough to get around the flanges whenever you have both sides of the V-band mated up together. I didn't have any issues out of these clamps. I'm going to replace them this year just because they've been installed and removed numerous times and they're starting to wear out. But overall, good clamps. Got a lot of time and use out of them. So, moving on from there. This is I don't want to say it's a highly modified On3 kit, but it is. It does have a lot of upgrades to it that I did, and I would highly recommend anyone that gets into one of these kits do them as well. I'm not running the On3 Turbo. I'm running a Precision 7675. The old On3 Turbo I didn't have any issues out of. I just upgraded to the Precision unit with the bigger hot side so I could make more power, knock the back pressure down a little bit, turn the boost up, so on and so forth. So whenever you get an On3 kit, it is going to come with a drain tube for the turbo. It is not going to come with this kind of drain tube. It's going to come with a rubber hose and fittings. I suggest that you do not use that. I suggest that you do what I did and you get a -10 line and you make your own drain tube. This is a -10 line, -10 fitting up there to the drain of the turbo, and then a -10 fitting. I believe that's like a 60-degree fitting that goes down to the oil pan to drain back. I've heard horror stories, not so much on the drain back tube, but other plastic lines popping off, mainly on the oil filter side, which I'm going to talk about here in a second. But with this line being subjected to so much heat around this part of this piping right here, I feel that braided AN line is a much better choice. I am not running the On3 wastegate anymore. I am running a Precision 46mm wastegate. I never had an issue out of the On3 wastegate, but I decided to go ahead and upgrade to the Precision wastegate. It's a really nice piece. It's not cheap, but this is the part of your turbo system that controls how much boost your turbo is going to make. So I did not want a cheap part to be determining how much boost I was going to make. So I decided to upgrade and pay for the Precision wastegate. I know plenty of people that run the On3 wastegates and have zero issues out of them. This was just a choice that I chose to make. So when you get the On3 kit, it's not going to come with this is my turbo feed line. It's not going to come with a line like this. It actually does come with a braided steel line that has like a rubber casing around it. I chose to upgrade and do a -4 braided line. I like it a lot better. So on to probably the most important thing that I can say that you will have to upgrade on the On3 Turbo kit. So with the way that this driver's side header comes off the block, you don't have room to put your stock oil filter anymore in the stock location. So what the kit comes with is a oil filter relocation. So it comes with a piece that actually screws onto the oil filter housing, which I have right here. I didn't pull it down. So it has a piece that screws onto the oil filter housing right here. It's not a bad piece. And it has a piece that you screw your oil filter on. For those out there that have not done one of these kits, your stock oil filter will not fit on this. I use an FL1A. Pretty common. You can find it at Walmart, AutoZone, anywhere. It's a little bit bigger. It holds roughly a quart of oil. I like it for the higher capacity. This is the piece that will come with your kit. I made a bracket to bolt it to where my AC used to be. And then the most important part I can say about this, so the On3 kit comes with brass fittings and rubber hose that you slide the rubber hose onto the barb fittings and then you put a hose clamp on. I have read numerous reviews and posts on forums and Facebook and everywhere else that those blow off. And whenever those blow off, now you're dumping all of your engine oil all over the ground. So I highly recommend that you fabricate some braided lines, AN lines, for that. So what you need to do is you need to get a set of AN adapters here. It's I forget what size MPT it is into those housings for each end. And then this line right here is a -8 that I made. And you don't have to worry about this line popping off as you're driving down the road and you end up dumping all your oil all over the ground. So if I could say one upgrade that you absolutely have to make to these On3 turbo kits is this. You need to go to an AN line or some type of line that isn't held on a hose barb with a hose clamp, because it will blow off. I guarantee it. Alright. I'm not really going to talk about the cold side of the turbo kit that much because no one really has issues out of it. The intercooler bolts up fine to the car and all the cold side piping fits perfectly. Never really hear any issues about it. But one thing that I will say is that a lot of people have issues with the Chinese hose couplers. Well, that's not an issue on these On3 kits. At least I haven't had an issue out of it. I've ran upwards of 25 pounds pretty normally on this car. And these hose clamps, or these couplers, as well as the clamps. These are actually the clamps that come with the kit as well. They're not bad. They get nice and tight and they hold these couplers on just fine. But these couplers are pretty thick. They're pretty sturdy and they don't blow off under boost as long as you have these clamps nice and tight. So pretty good quality on these couplers and hose clamps on the cold side. So that is my kind of informal review of the On3 turbo kit for the 2-valve Mustangs, the 99 to 04 Mustang, and then I guess these probably also work on the 96 to 98 as well. They're a good kit. I say if you're mechanically inclined and you know how to work around small issues and kind of deal with small problems that you're probably going to run into because of the quality of the kit and the amount of money that you paid for it, then I say go for it. It's a good kit for the money. You just have to iron out a few small issues and you've got a really good turbo kit. So if you guys have any questions, feel free to post them in the comments, and I will do my best to get answers back to you as fast as possible. And that's all I got for now.